Welcome to Karate 360 podcast. I'm your co-host, Richard Mosdell.
And I'm Kalan Anglos.
Hey, Kalan, how's it going?
Good, Richard. How are you?
You know, one of the things I love about open karate tournaments, I love the fact that when you go to a tournament, you get to meet all the other club instructors, not just the tournament itself, because, you know, athletes change, results change.
Yes, yeah.
But what I love is when you meet the other club instructors, and sometimes you've been meeting them for like decades, and then you get to work together and you're doing an event and you're marshaling your kids around, and you turn to someone and go, hey, do you get the result for that one? Or do you get the result for that division? Or do you know which division is up or which ring they're in? And then,
am I red or blue?
Exactly. Oh, your kid is red. This one's blue. So not only helping your kids, but you're helping someone else.
Yeah.
I really like that about the Karate BC Provincial Championships this year, in that we had club instructors who were officiating and we had club instructors who were coaching. And then there was a really friendly vibe because the club instructors tend to know the other club instructors, right?
Yeah.
Even the assistant instructors. So at the BC Open, that's going to be BC Open Karate Championships December 10th, coming up at the Richmond Olympic Oval. Anybody who's in Karate BC will again get to meet their friends, the other club instructors and assistant instructors coming. But then the people outside of Karate BC, both who have clubs in this province or another province or from the States, can come and make some new friends.
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about having an open tournament is that you can invite all those other people. They don't have to be necessarily in Karate BC, but they can come and, like you said, meet all those new instructors, meet all those new athletes, and make new friends, and makes it more comfortable for them to want to come back.
I remember the comment that one of the Canadian national team coaches said, Roman, he said that, you know, you can't get too upset over something that might have happened to your athlete in a competition that maybe didn't go their way or you didn't agree with the officiating, because sometimes you get stuff that does go your way that maybe you shouldn't have got.
Totally. It all evens out.
Yeah. So we shouldn't get too angry, because you know what? The athletes are going to come and go, but we're going to keep seeing each other for years and years and years.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So it's important that we work together, especially when all these people meet in one place for an event that they really love this martial arts.
Yes, and in my mind, that's it. Like, we should all be working together to build up karate, not to just build up our club or our athletes. We should all be working together to get as many eyes on this sport as we can. Exactly.
So this is a reminder that the BC Karate Open Championships will be December the 3rd, Richmond Oval. You can register online at karatebc.org under the events button. And we've got the Big Canada Open Karate Championships June 3rd and 4th next year.
All right, guys, so we are Karate 360, and what is Karate 360? Well, Karate 360 is a global approach to all the news and highlights of everything happening in karate, and it just happens that the Karate World Championships just finished up, and that's what we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, we are here to just bring you all the news in the karate world and really try and bring everything together.
Karate 360, let's start the show. You will kick high, I will sweep low. From local to global, the thing that we love, karate. Sanrokumaru.
And here we are, guys, episode 8 of Karate 360.
Holy cow, number 8.
Holy, we're moving right along here. And again, just finished the Karate World Championships last week, and lots to talk about there, and a lot of stuff leading up to all that conversation. But before we get there, Richard, buddy, how was your week?
My week has been awesome. Busy, crazy. And one thing I want to say to you, Kalan, is I'm rich.
You're rich?
Not yet. But when I say not yet, does it sound like I'm on my way?
Sounds like you are on your way.
Sounds like I'm on my way. So as I've been telling you, I've been reading this book and listening to lectures by Professor Carl Duick. And she's the one who is a quite famous professor on psychology and how to develop a growing mind.
Yes.
Instead of a fixed mind.
Yes, which we talked about in last week's episode.
Exactly. So I keep reading about it because it really fits to what we do in karate. So let's say you have a belt test. Do we fail them? Do we just say that you failed? Are they really just never going to make it across the line?
Yeah, it's a touchy subject.
So, do you pass? Do you fail? What we've been using for a while here in Kenzen is that you retest.
Yes.
So you get a pass, you get a retest.
Yes.
But I think I've always been kind of on the way to getting what I should be giving results to the kids, as well as like verbal feedback or written feedback. But I always thought the word test was still in the result. So they'd done the study about a school in Chicago, and there you don't get a D or an F, you get an NY. Not yet. Yeah. And the idea is that you're still on your way. So maybe what the result we should have is, okay, well, you passed, or you got a not yet. as in you're going to get there because you just need more time.
Yes.
Does this make sense?
Makes sense. And I think it takes a little bit of the negative connotation out of, failing. It's just, okay, you're on your way there. You're just not there yet.
Exactly. Now, I think we do have to know that we need high standards.
Yes.
One of the things that Professor Dueck talks about is don't give a high praise for a low result from having a low standard.
Sure, yeah.
Someone passes a test without studying. Don't think, wow, you must be really smart. No, not really smart. They didn't put any effort in.
Yes.
They just cruise through it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about not yet, especially because I've been thinking about how to judge kata and give a metric score. And I still want to talk to 2 or 3 more people before I, give my soapbox opinion about that.
Yeah.
But this is part of that thing that not yet. Like last night I was watching this documentary on the Canadian national synchronized swimming team. Synchronized swimming is a tough sport.
Yeah.
They said they do weight training, they do ballet, they practice their land routines, they do stretching. That takes about 7 hours, and then they get in the pool and train for 4 or 5 more hours.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
So
they are constantly working on getting better. And the Canadian team at the Olympic qualifier for 2016 came in like 4th, and they only took the top 3 teams from the region. So they couldn't get to go. Yet they're putting in that much effort.
Yeah, crazy.
And so they're getting a bunch of metric scores for their performance. And it was very similar to karate in that they have a technical side that they have to work on.
Yes.
And they have an athletic side. And obviously there's an artistic side, what type of creative routines they come up with. So yeah, not yet is something I've been thinking about. And I've been trying to use that type of language on the floor, whether it's with the really young kids or the kids who are high performers who are flying for, elite performance, about how I can say to them about, working. We had one kid, I think I mentioned this before, but one kid today took off his gloves and went, "Sensei, my hands are sticky." I'm like, "Why?" I said, "My hands are sweating." And he had never experienced that before. It's funny when kids I've had this before because I've been trying to get their heart rate up.
Yeah.
So kids are like, "Sensei, I'm worried. What's wrong? Something's wrong with my heart. It's going really, really fast." And it's like, okay, well, we got your heart rate up. So
this is a good thing.
Exactly. Actually, I was using your drill of just with the kids in a push-up position, but they're kicking their knees. What do you call that when they're going back and forth with their feet?
Like mountain climbers.
Mountain climbers. Yeah. Mountain climbers. I always think of mountain climbers, but more like a Spider-Man one where you're crawling across the floor and using the side.
Okay, yeah.
Spider-Man's.
There are
Spider-Man.
Spider-Mans too, yeah.
So we're doing tons of mountain climbers. Then they have to train. And
yeah.
So that's other than, teaching 20 classes and, running a bunch of kid stripe tests and preparing for the open and the other open, helping manage the BC team. The other thing. I know I'm overcommitted, but it's better than being undercommitted.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
And you?
My week was busy again. We wrapped up the Camosun College students coming in, and they had a good time. I spent a lot of time this week looking over the beginning of season fitness testing that we did on the BC team athletes, and not only looking at it, but compiling a report for the coaches as well as the athletes. So that took up quite a bit of my time as well.
Working for me.
What's that?
You're working for me.
Yeah, that's right. So that was most of my week was just trying to get that together and trying to give the report, because I think it's one thing, to take the test, but you need to know how you did against everybody else, and how you can improve, and
exactly
what it all means, and how you can kind of bring it all together. So a lot of the questions that's been coming our way is, well, how, first of all, why are we doing these tests, and how can I improve on them, and why is it important to improve on them? So, we've already educated quite a few people on why we're doing it. Obviously, we need to do it to get all this data on karate athletes, and we've already done the analysis of karate, so we know that these tests are indicative of karate performance. So if you're good at the test, you will be good at different parameters of karate. So the big question that everybody asks is, well, how do we improve? And even on the day of the testing, we've had parents ask, well, how do we get better at these? And basically, one of the things that we did and that we kind of talk about is just do the tests in your club, or just do them whenever. Just practice them. There is a familiarization period with anything, and just like any type of testing that you do, scientific testing or whatever it is, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, just because you're more familiar with it, because it's not new to your mind. Like when we did the beep test there with them for their aerobic power, you remember that the first testing there, everybody looked really nervous. It's like, well,
shaking hands,
sweating
anxiety
already before they started. It's like, well, you should have already been through this. Like you should have already known how this goes, right? So, I mean, it is a vigorous test for sure, but you should already know kind of what's coming. So just doing the tests before you actually show up for the testing days is quite important, and it's something that we talk about a lot in the academic world, is making sure that your athletes are familiar with the test before they get in. So just doing that alone is one way to improve the fitness test scores.
I think what's interesting about the fitness test, it could sound like a fixed mind system that we're throwing on them, but actually it's all about a growing mind, because the idea is to know where you're at so you can grow to get better.
Yes, absolutely.
Not to think that, well, I don't really need to be fit because I've got a really good reverse punch. I can pick anybody off, and that gets me to the national championships every year. Like, why do I need to get any stronger?
Yeah.
But as we're going to go into the WKF results, you can see which countries are actually getting the medals.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that you've been going through that. Any 2 or 3 takeaways that come out right away?
Everybody, from what we have so far, everybody's done quite well in terms of against the normative data and what people are expected, except on the beep test.
I thought it was low, right?
It was a little low. It was a little low on the beep test when you look at kind of the standards in different sports or different populations around the world. It was definitely a little bit low, and I don't know if that's just because people weren't familiar with it or they weren't pushing themselves hard enough. I'm not sure, but that was definitely a little bit surprising, and that was kind of right across the board for all groups. They were all lower.
When we talk about low, the highest score you could probably get is like an 18 or something like that.
18 would be crazy.
It would be crazy. Yeah. And then 17, like, Steve Nash got a 17. And now the highest score, and then the highest score I saw maybe 3 people get, was it 12?
12, yes. We might have had a 12 and a half, actually.
12 and a half?
Yeah.
Couple 11s.
Yeah.
10s.
And the rest in between.
Lots of
4
8s.
and 8.
Yeah, 4 and 8. Lots of 8s and 9s. 7, 8s, 9s.
Yeah, 7, 8s, 9s. Yeah, a lot of 7, 8s, 9s. And that's just kind of catching up to good, so to speak.
But we did see 4s and 5s and 6s.
Quite a few of them.
Which is like a jogging pace.
Which is like a not yet.
Yes. Not yet.
Not yet ready.
Not yet. So what should we, if the bell curve, is it like the top of the curve at like 8, 7.5, 8, do you think? Or
yes. Yeah. I would say 7.5 and 8 is good.
Where should we be sitting? Should we be, because I remember somebody saying to me that in the past someone got like a 15,
Yeah, now we have to be a little bit careful with that, because there is different versions of the beep test as well. The one we were doing, this is the standardized beep, Leger 20-meter beep test that's done on all athletes, not all athletes, but most major sports use it. There is different versions of it that is a little bit easier. So sometimes if you get, level 15 on one, you're going to get a little bit less on the other. But still, I mean, if you're saying you got level 15 and you show up and you only get level 10, then either you're not as fit as you were when you did it the first time or the last time, or you were doing a different test. So I think where we should mostly be around in terms of the actual beep test, in terms of the bell curve, we should have most of our people around 10. I would think.
Wow.
10, 9
There's a lot of work to be done.
Especially at the elite level. If you want to make it to the nationals, you're going to want to be aerobically fit. Absolutely.
Well, we're going to be letting everybody know soon.
Yeah. Everything else, though, was good. And I know some of the people, some of the younger athletes for sure that we talked about, or that we talked to, had said that, they showed up and they had never done the test before. They were surprised that, we didn't do this test in the club. I was like, well, you should have. Like these should be familiar to you, or at least a different version of them. So, well,
the field test is up there the video's up on the Karate BC YouTube page. So. Yeah, they can check it out.
Yeah. And I think what's going to be really cool, too, is when we can get some of our national team members tested, because then we can see where they are as well in terms of their fitness scores. And we also have another kind of level to this test as well, like a whole lab test where we can actually run them through VO2 max tests and anaerobic wing gait tests and that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens.
That'll be fun. I can't wait for that part.
Yes.
Because I'll be at the bottom of the pile.
We still got to get you in. We still got to get you in for
there.
the VO2 max test.
I'm there.
We can get you for sure. It's fun.
That's awesome. Well, talking about preparing for the World Championships.
Let's get into a little bit of Karate Global News.
All right, so I'm going to, with Kalan here, going to do, he came up with a great term.
The lightning round.
Lightning round.
The lightning results, whatever you want to call it.
We're going to fly through the results.
So again, the karate WKF World Championships were last weekend in Linz, Austria. And we're just going to rifle through pretty much all the results from the entire tournament.
Hold on to your hats, make sure your belt is tied, and please sit in an upright position.
And a little bit of a disclaimer, if we mispronounce any of these names,
It's not our fault.
not our fault. We apologize. We're doing our best.
You know, in Japanese, what they do is they take all the non-Japanese names and they put them, they Romanize them into Japanese-sounding words. So if someone's name is like Richard Mosdell, they put Richard Mosdell. Kalan Anglos, Kalan Anglos, right? But then it would be easier to pronounce because everything's phonetic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hang on. Official results, WKF World Senior Championships 2016.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, I'm going to start off. Female kata. First place, Kyo Shimizu, Japan. Second place, Sarah Said, Egypt. Third place, Viviana Botaro, Italy. Also in third place was Sandra Sanchez Jame from Spain.
Female kumite, plus 68 kilograms in first place.
Hit me.
Ayumi Yukusa from Japan. In second place, Eleni Chatziledaro from Greece. In third place, Dominika Tatorova from Slovakia. And also in third place, Hamida Abbasli from Iran.
Female kumite, minus 50 kilograms. First place, Alexandra Recha, France. Second place, Miho Miyahara, Japan. Third place, Radwa Said, Egypt. Also in third place, Bettina Plank, Austria.
Female kumite, minus 55 kilograms. In first place, Emily Thu from France. Second place, Valeria Kumizaki from Brazil. Third place, Zhu Yan Wen from China. And also in third place, Sarah Yamada from Japan.
Female kumite, minus 61 kilograms. Number one, gold medal, Gianna Latvi from Egypt. Silver medalist, Lucy Ignace from France. Third place, Anita Saragoyina from Ukraine. And also in third place, Ingrida Suchankova from Slovakia.
And rounding out the female kumite minus 68 kilograms. In first place, Alyssa Buchinger from Austria, also an MVP of the tournament, who we'll talk about later.
Da-dun.
In second place, Katrine Peterson from Denmark. Third place, Ivana Kavar from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Also in third place, Marina Rakovic from Montenegro.
Female team kata, gold medal, Japan. Silver medal, Spain. Bronze medal, Italy. Also bronze medal, Italy.
And in female team kumite, first place, the gold medal, Team France.
Vive la France!
Vive la France. And second place, Spain. And in third place, the Americans from the United States.
USA! Do you know why they say USA? Used
No.
to be a U.S. team would, instead of saying USA, USA, they would say USA.
Okay. We used to say, I don't even know where it came from, but on the BC team, we used to say Isha or Isho.
That's a Ki scoring yell.
Yes. Okay.
Right on.
Okay, moving right along here. So now we're getting into the male kata. In first place, Ryo Kiyuna from Japan, also one of the MVPs of the tournament. In second place, Hugo Quintero from Spain. Damian Hugo Quintero. In third place, Ilja Smorguna from Germany. And also in third place, Antonio Diaz from Venezuela.
Male kumite, plus 84 kilograms. Gold medal, Sayad Ganjaze from Iran. Silver medal, Akraf Ochin from Morocco. Bronze medal, Angelo Vetskik from Croatia. And also bronze medal, Hirolind Nishevitz from Kosovo.
And before we go on to the next kumite division, I also just wanted to give a shout out to Kenneth Lee in the men's kata, the Canadian athlete. He got 9th place, so he cracked the top 10. Kenneth Lee of Team Kata, and great guy. I've trained with him many years, been on the team many years, so good job, Kenneth. We'll maybe talk about that more in a little bit. But moving right along here, male kumite minus 60 kilograms. We're looking at Amir Medzerda from Iran, won the gold medal. The silver medalist was Geoffrey Berens from the Netherlands. 3rd place for Firdavosi Farzalev from Azerbaijan. And also in 3rd place, Sofiane Agudagil from France.
Male kumite, minus 67 kilograms. 1st place, Thomas Jordan from England. You know what's interesting about him? His dad, back in like 1992, won a gold medal for England.
Is it Jordan Thomas, maybe?
Jordan Thomas,
There you
yes. Silver medal, is it Yves Marshall Tazi from Hungary, and bronze, Steven da Costa from France. Also bronze, Andreas Madeira from Venezuela.
And male kumite, minus 75 kilograms. The gold medalist, who else but the great, the legend, Rafael Agaev from Azerbaijan.
5 times.
5-time world champion, and we'll talk about him. Also an MVP, obviously, of the tournament. 2nd place in the minus 75 kilograms, Omar Abdelrahman from Egypt. In 3rd place is Alisgar Asibari from Iran. And also in 3rd place, Luigi Busa from Italy.
Let's give a shout out to Tom Scott from the United States. Got 5th place. He was up here in Vancouver a couple months ago. And I know in the States and in Canada, he's got lots of fans and people follow him.
Captain America.
Captain America. So Tom, good job on your result. We look forward to seeing you more fantastic results, especially leading up to Tokyo 2020. Male kumite, minus 84 kilograms. Gold medal, Ryutaro Araga from Japan. Silver, Akan Mamayev from Azerbaijan. Bronze, Zabilo Purshab from Iran. And also bronze, Kenji Gulan from France.
And male Team Kata, the gold medalist, Team Japan. And the silver medalist is Team France. Bronze medalist in the Team Kata was Team Italy. And also bronze medal in Team Kata was Spain.
The big division that you like to watch, male Team Kumite. I like to watch female Team Kumite too, by the way. That's right. Gold medal, dun 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 dun, Iran, gold medal. Silver medal, Japan. Bronze medal, Germany. 2nd bronze medal, France.
Ooh, and there it is.
Wow, there it is.
Those are your results, the podium results from the 2016 World WKF Senior Championships in Linz, Austria. So again, guys, there's the results. You can go to the WKF website if you want to get a full breakdown of the results. But we did also want to highlight some of the athletes who were named actually MVPs of the tournament. So there was 5 athletes in total named MVP of the World Championships. And we just want to talk a little bit more about them and kind of break down their results, not only, but how they went and their kind of draws that went through that.
One thing I wanted to say is around half of the medals that were given out were people who were totally new to winning a medal.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So definitely there's a whole new breed of people who are developing over the last couple of years, and people are coming along. So let's go through some of our most valuable players at the tournament. Who are we doing first?
So one of the first MVPs of the tournament, and somebody I know you're familiar with from Team Japan, is Ryutaro Araga.
All right, so Ryutaro Araga. We've got his draws. I've watched him fight many times. So let's go through it. Again, this is like the lightning round. I'm going to tell you who he fought and how he did, take you right to the finals. All right, so in his first round, he was against Bulgaria, and he won 8-0. Next round, he was against Carlos Julian Villarreal from Mexico, 2-0. Next round, guess what? Ties, 0-0 with Zabilo Purshab from Iran. So he must have won on Hante. He wins on a Hante. He goes into semifinal round. He's up against Anton Isakao from Belarus. He wins that one 4-0. Takes him into the again semifinals. He goes up against Cesar Herrera from Venezuela. 4-0 again. Goes into the final against Azerbaijan's Akan Mamayev, and he wins it 5-0 to take the gold medal.
There it is. And what I want to talk about a little bit, one of the other MVPs of the tournament is the female athlete Alyssa Buchinger. She was in pool 3 of the minus 68 female kumite athletes, and she is number 1 ranked WKF right now, female athlete in the minus 68 team, and she also won gold at the K1 Fortaleza I saw as well. So winning gold again, Alyssa Buchinger. She had a bye in the first round, and then in the second round she won against Ivana Komajek 6-0. And that's from Serbia. That moved her into the next round where she won 8-0. So a big win against Veronika Semenica of Slovakia. That got her into the finals of the pool where she fought from Italy Silvia Samaro, and she won that one. Actually, it was a 0-0, so again, she must have won on Hunt Day on that one as well. Just looking through her first little pool rounds there, she was only scored on. Actually, she wasn't scored on. She wasn't scored on at all through her whole entire pool, and she wound up winning. So that was great. And then as we get into the final draws on that one, then she went up against Marina Rakovic, and she won that one 3-0. So she didn't give up any points. And then finally in the finals, she did finally give up 1 point against Katrine Peterson of Denmark, but she won that match 6-1. So Alyssa Buchinger, I think you can call that a dominant performance.
Yeah, it's funny because I just looking back at Ruta Arago, he also went all the way to the final without getting scored on once.
Wow, that's incredible.
We got to look at some videos there. Got to talk to some people about that. Okay, I've got Ro Kiyuna all set up here. In his first round of male kata, he was up against Niklas Turin from Finland. He takes it 5-0. Then he goes up against Ming-Chi Lau from Hong Kong. Again, it's a 5-0 win. Then he's up against Alessandro Diogivani from Belgium, 5-0. Goes up against Chi Wei Lim from Malaysia. Guess what it was?
5-0.
No way. How did you figure that out? Goes into the pool winner tree, and he draws Antonio Diaz from
5-0.
Benneville. No, split 3-2.
That's close.
Wow, that is very close.
Tough draw for Diaz there in the finals.
That's right. So, and it's Leo Kino's only real challenge, because then he goes into the finals against Damien Hugo Quintaro Capdevila from Spain and gets a win with 5-0. So that's how he got his gold. Another MVP of the tournament was in female kata, Kyo Shimizu. In her first round, she actually gets a bye. So in her second round, she's up against Christine Winiger from Austria. Wins 5-0. Next round, she goes up against Marina Romano Sol from Peru. 5-0 win. Next round, she's up against, you guessed it, Dorota Balikavaro from Slovakia, and 5-0. Drops her down to the winner's pool, and her semifinal round is against Sandra Sanchez Jameh. 4-1. Goes into the final. She's up against Sarah Said of Egypt. 5-0. Gives her the gold. All right. Give us the last MVP.
And the final MVP.
The juicy one here.
WKF World Championships in 2016. Number 1 in the world, number 1 in your heart, Rafael Agaev, the great Rafael Agaev, the legend, 5-time world champion, and again, winning this one as well. He started off, he got a bye in the first round, and then he fought Gaber Harbsaksi from Hungary, and he actually only won 3-2 against that one. So that was a tough match to start it off, but after that, he was lights out. 1-0 win in the next round against a Netherlands athlete. That brought him into the next round where he won 3-0 against one of the Armenian athletes. And then he won, to win the pool, he won 2-0 against Dastanbek Otabalev from Uzbekistan. So that won him the pool, dropped him into the winner's pool. He went up first against a Islamic Republican of Iran athlete, and he won that one 3-0 as well, which put him into the finals against, from Egypt, Raman Omar Abdel, and he won that 4-1 to become the 5-time WKF World Champion.
That's amazing. Rahman Omar Abdel from Egypt. He was the one who beat Tom Scott.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Beat him only 1-0.
Wow. So it was close, but yeah, I mean, Rafael Agaev. What more can you say about him? I mean, what left can he do in this sport? I mean, just a complete legend.
Well, he's got to last to Tokyo 2020.
That's true.
That's what he's got to do in the
That's
sport.
very true. That's very true.
You know, can he make it? Well, he's got to be, 30 years old now?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But this is fantastic because the last time he won a WKF gold medal was 2010.
Yeah.
So he's had a few years. And when I was in Japan, I was working with the Azerbaijan embassy. Each embassy has a cultural attaché.
Okay.
Yes. And so we were trying to get an interview with him. So the embassy was trying to they were trying to interview him on the phone and then translate it for me, and then we're going to put it in the JK Fan magazine.
Okay.
But he was just a busy guy and
Sure.
couldn't get him on the phone. That was their own embassy couldn't get him on the phone.
Wow. Too busy training and winning.
That's right. Now, I think some people might think he's really naturally talented, but I think he works it hard.
Oh, absolutely.
You see that video with Jean Lefeur? He's a former top athlete, and is it Belgium where he's at? And he has a video, I think, from 2012 or 2014 where Agaev goes to train in his club. It's on YouTube.
Yes.
I'll find the link and I'll put it up in the post. And you see Agaev train really, really hard in that training camp.
Sure, yeah.
I also remember watching him do his warm-up training in 2008 and just really, really pushing himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't get to that level to be a world champion if you're not training hard.
No, exactly. I was just listening to somebody today talk about how Michael Jordan was training, and that the only way he could stay on top was to try and train harder than everybody else around him.
Yes, yes.
You know?
And I think one of the other probably common traits between that is their competitiveness. I know everybody always talks about Michael Jordan's competitiveness. You know, you play a game of darts with him and he's got to win or he gets crazy. So I'm sure Rafael Agaev as well, just competitor in the truest word, and I mean just a complete true athlete for sure.
Yeah, this is amazing. So, will he last to Tokyo 2020?
Yeah,
will he
that's
make
the
it?
question, right? That's the question. Will he make it, and will he win it? And you know that would really put him over the top, I think. After that, what else do you have left to do? I mean,
exactly. Well, that was the lightning round for the results in the WKF World Championships. What I'd like to do over the next couple of weeks is, as more videos and information comes out about the World Championships, because it's only every 2 years.
Yes,
we should watch it. We should go over some of the videos. A couple of the takeaways that I do want to bring up first is that not only were basically half the athletes were new to winning a medal, and Agaev is back on top, but Japan swept kata, individual kata, team kata, sweep. And I think I've got some theories on why that happened, and we put that into one of the upcoming shows, because this is important not only for competition training, but it's also important for just people training in their dojo.
Yes. What are those guys doing that's different than everybody else that's just putting them over the top?
And what are other people that maybe they're going in the wrong direction?
Yes.
With what they're doing.
Yes.
So
other things to take away there too, just a little hometown flavor. We had a couple Canadian athletes crack the top 10. So I had mentioned there Kenneth Lee in the the individual male kata. He wound up getting 9th in that, so he cracked the top 10. And then also in the female kata was Rita Ngo. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but Rita got a 7th position, so she also cracked the top 10 for Canada. So congratulations to both those guys.
There is one other part of the lightning round we've got to bring up, and that's the WKF World Para Karate Championships.
Yes.
And this is important because there are some also Canadian athletes who got some medals.
Yes.
So I'm going to fire through this. Blind and visually impaired, female, and I believe this is all kata, right? First place was Helga Balke of Germany. Second place was Michaela Schaffer of Germany. And third place was Deborah Kins of Brazil, and also Monica Preem, fourth place of Estonia. Blind, visually impaired male. Gold medal was Nikolai Bondavirov. Silver medal, Raymond Marcom. Third place medal, Yasushi Oba of Japan. By the way, Raymond Marcom is from Australia. And we're going to interview him in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been chatting with him by text. So Ray, I know you're listening, and we are really looking forward to talking to you very, very shortly. And then fourth place in this division was Sharif Bayumi from Egypt. Intellectually impaired female, gold medal, Patricia Wright from Canada. Congratulations. And silver medal was Natalie Olson, also from Canada. By the way, first time a Canadian ever won a gold medal at the WKF World Championships.
Wow. Yeah.
So fantastic. Really, really fantastic. Bronze medal was Salma Alidin Ibrahim from Egypt, and fourth place was Darlene Foster from Wales. Intellectually impaired male, gold, Albert Singer from Germany, Janos Sestaro silver from Hungary, Marvin Neltij from Germany, and Shady Shalmedal from Egypt is fourth place. Wheelchair female was gold medal, Kanarik Arpitin from Ukraine, and Ulina Polkina from Ukraine. Veronica Kalina is bronze from Russia, and Nora Gari is fourth from Hungary. The last one, last but not least, male wheelchair is gold medal Skinder Tosic from Slovenia, Mendy Soboboto silver from Austria, Yevgeny Korobengovi from Russia, and Fatev Sebek is fourth place. And I think it's important that we shout these people out because, hey, that takes a lot of guts to get up to the World Championship level.
Absolutely.
And really give it a go. So congratulations to all of you. They are, right now they're saying there's no para karate in the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games, but they're working on it for 2024.
Yes. Now, is this the first WKF World Championships where we've had athletes with a disability?
They've had it before. I think it was the last one, but that was under the title AWOD, athletes with a disability.
Yeah.
This is the first time using World Para Karate Championships.
Oh, it's great. It's great. It just shows that karate as a sport is just moving forward. So that's amazing.
No, absolutely.
Okay, guys, so something that we kind of wanted to talk about that we highlighted a little bit there in the lightning round, and again, you can see all those results on the WKF website, but something that just kind of came out of the WKF championships and that we saw is that there's been a couple rule changes that have been suggested for both kata and kumite.
They're not suggested, they're happening.
Yes, at the start of in January. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, January 2017. These are going to be the new rules, and why don't you talk a little bit about the new change to the kumite?
All right. We're going to post the official two sheets. One is on kumite and one's on kata, and we'll put them into the link. But let's talk about just one of them. And this is a new criteria for, and I'm just going to read it out to you. Introduction of first unopposed score advantage, senshu. If score is equal at the end of a match, the contestant that scored the first unopposed point is the winner. What does that mean?
Well, basically that means that whoever scores the first point without the other athlete scoring a point, so if two athletes score a point at the same time, then they find out who scores the next point, but whoever scores the first uncontested point, so scoring a point without your athlete scoring, if the score winds up tied at the end of the match, you wind up winning the match. So, I mean, I think this is great. I think this is going to make kumite a little bit more fast. I think it's going to make athletes want to go out and really get that first point, because if you get that first point and the score winds up being tied, we're not going to hunt day anymore. We're going to see, who got that first point. So I think it's great.
Senshu, and I've been looking it up in Japanese, senshu means athlete, and senshu means weak. And the term they're using here is senshu, means first. This is also a term used I think it's also used in baseball, because it means earning the first run.
Okay. Yeah.
So to say it in Japanese, you say senshu. To say athlete in Japanese, you say senshu. To say weak in Japanese, you say senshu. Just drag it out a little bit. So to score the first advantage. This is actually great. It's going to make people try and get some points. They want it to get more activity going.
Yes.
Less passivity.
Yes, because you see a lot of that passivity usually happen, I would say, in the first, 30 seconds of a match, or I guess 20 seconds of the match with the under the old rules. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be great. It's going to get you firing right out of the gate.
Okay, so in the old rules, they're still the rules until until they start implementing it. Doesn't mean that the whole world will go right from January 1st. But you could take 3 category 2 penalties for 20 seconds of passivity, as well as moving around and throwing the odd technique, and you could waste at least half of the match.
Yes.
So this is going to encourage you to go out and get some points. Now they have changed I think I read, yes, a Toshibaraku now is going to be extended to 15 seconds.
Yes, well, lessened to 15 seconds.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And category 2 offense for passivity is also going to be changed to 15 seconds. But I did ask Norma Foster, the president of Karate BC and a WKF referee who was there, I said, what happens if both athletes engage? The central referee says, yeah, may. There's 2 red flags, 2 blue flags. They each get 1 point. Then there's no other points to end the match when the time runs out.
So the match ends 1-1.
Match ends 1-1. They both scored. What happens? And her answer was, well, they're just going to have to do hante. So the hante might slam. I think they have to write that in.
Yes.
But the amount of times that's actually going to happen will be probably quite limited.
Sure. Or, another thing that they could do is they could just say, well, who scores the next point, the next uncontested point? And that person.
Encho-san.
Oh, yes, Encho-san, yeah. Which they don't do anymore, of course.
No, I bet she'll just go to hante because it'll be such a small percentage of matches
yes.
that would happen. But
Yeah.
most likely they'll have to do hante at that point.
Yes. So just a couple rule changes to kumite. And again, we'll post this reading here on our website as well. Other minor changes as well that you can look at on there, but those are the 2 main ones that we kind of wanted to talk about. And again, start of January, those are going to be the new rules.
Yep, exactly. So some major changes are the senchu point. First person to score, well then if it's a tied match, will win. I thought the other interesting thing here in kata things are pretty straightforward, but one is that in team kata on the bunkai, using leg scissor technique to the neck in bunkai is added to reasons for disqualifications.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The other one is distracting judges by moving around while the other competitor is moving is added to fouls.
Huh.
It's funny, I just had that at refereeing a tournament last weekend, and there was an athlete when I was on the top right side, and so when Aka finished and stepped off, they were standing right beside me while Ao was performing their kata.
Okay.
And they were nervous and they didn't realize how close they were standing to me. And I was like, you have to kind of move away. You're distracting. And then I had a bunch of parents sitting right behind me talking to each other about each person's performance, like critiquing it.
Yes.
But it was like they were talking to me because they're right behind my head. So I can see this. This makes sense. We'll put up these 2 images on the website.
Okay, well, all this talk about the Karate World Championships, I wanted to bring a karate training tip this week to you guys, and it's not only something that we can use in the competitive world, but it's also something that's really important in the dojo as well, at any level of karate.
I'm all ears. You know the one that you were talking about last week, the fartlek?
Fartlek training, yes.
We were doing it in the club.
Love it.
Because I remember we used to do it in Japan, because I think I told you it's called oikosu.
Yes.
So we were doing it like crazy. It was awesome. And so tell us, what's the next one? I can't wait to use it.
This karate training tip is actually something that I've noticed in the dojo sometimes. And basically what I'm going to be talking about is just kind of more accepted general rules of a warm-up and a cool-down. And this is obviously important for competition, but again, for the dojo. So in the literature and in the scientific world, a lot of the warm-up that we talk about, I mean, obviously you want to get your heart rate up and that kind of thing, but what I want to kind of focus on more so is the stretching aspects of karate and how you can properly warm up your athletes using stretching. Now, in the sporting world, whatever sport it is, but in karate especially, or as well, I often see senseis or coaches warming up their athletes and then getting them to do static stretching. And what I mean by static stretching is you're in one position, you're trying to reach for your toe as hard as you can. Okay, hold it. Okay, go to the next one. Well, those type of exercises are really great to do after you do your class, but actually, in fact, they are a little bit detrimental to performance in terms of your actual power development. So what the better thing to do, and what we always kind of recognize now, is that dynamic stretching is what you should be doing before a class. So you shouldn't have them sitting or standing in a specific spot. You should have them going through these stretches in a dynamic range of motion. So leg swings, arm rotations, anything that really opens up the whole range of motion of whatever limbs, the legs, the hips, the arms, that kind of thing. Those should all be done as a warm-up before you actually get into the actual karate training. And it's very important because it not only warms the muscles up, but it makes sure your joints are already working throughout their whole range of motion. After the class is a great time to do your cool down, and it's a great time then to do your static stretching. So again, just doing your whole sit and reach, or just doing the leg pulls, or whatever it is that you're doing, save those for after, because yes, those are good for increasing your range of motion. But as a warm-up, you don't necessarily want to do them. As a warm-up, you want to get the muscles ready for performance, to be able to perform your kata, be able to perform your techniques. After the class is over, or when you're just wrapping up as a cool down, that's when you want to start doing your static stretching, and then you can increase your range of motion, because the muscles are already going to be used, they're already going to be warm, and you're already going to be able to use them effectively. And one of the best stretching techniques, which I know is something that we've started to look at, and the best known way to increase your range of motion is called PNF stretching, and it's called proprioneuroceptive facilitation. Not super important, the name, but PNF stretching is just basically where you go through static stretching with a partner. You have your partner, you're helping your partner, maybe you're doing a hamstring, so you're lying on their back, you lift one leg, you stretch them as far as you can, and you actually want to activate the muscle that you're stretching, and then you can stretch a little bit further. There's kind of a common thing in the sporting world, or at least the kinesiology world, where we say maximum contraction equals maximum relaxation. And that accounts for any muscle. That's just muscle physiology.
Maximum
contraction
equals
maximum relaxation.
Okay, let's slow down here a little bit. Just I gotta follow along. Maximum.
You're writing notes like crazy over
contraction
here.
Equals
maximum relaxation.
Maximum relaxation.
So when a muscle contracts, yes. There's a split second after where it has that little relaxation period, where yes. all of a sudden it stopped contracting and it relaxes. The more you contract, so that if you're maximally contracting all your motor units in a muscle, it relaxes even more. So you can completely relax, and it relaxes for longer. So what we do in PNF stretching is we get those. So again, if we're going back to laying on your back, stretching the leg up, we're stretching the hamstring. So what we get them to do is we get them to push against your hand or your shoulder or whatever to activate the hamstring. So you're doing maximum contraction, and then you let them relax, and then as soon as they relax, you trick the muscle, and as soon as you get it, you push them a little bit further through their range of motion, and it works. You can try this in your dojo. It's like magic. I always tell people.
So PNF stretching, I remember when I was first learning about it in the early 90s.
Yes.
So this is still an accepted way, because we'll do that we'll do exactly the same thing. Probably not as perfect as you're describing it, but you push against, you resist, then you relax, and they push against you, then you resist, you relax, and you push against you. Yeah.
And there's a couple different kind of protocols and ways to doing it, but the whole entire thing about PNF stretching is getting those muscles to contract, and then once they get in that relaxation phase, that's when you push the stretch a little bit.
And to do it after the practice, right?
And to do it after the practice, yes. These are things that you want to do as a cool down, not as a warm up, because again, these are actually, they're going to calm your muscles a little bit, and we don't want calm muscles when we want to perform. We want excitable muscles.
You should have been around when I was competing way back when, because I remember at this one tournament that I was doing tons of PNF stretching beforehand, because I really wanted to be really flexible.
Yes.
And what I was basically doing was thinking that if I could be more flexible in the tournament, I'd be making up for the fact that I wasn't as prepared for the tournament.
Yes.
So I got really flexible. I was in my splits. I was loose. Had friends standing on my back. They were doing PNF stretching. Got on the floor, and my leg just felt like rubber.
Yes.
Like my whole body, I'm rubber.
That's exactly what it's.
I couldn't move. I was over relaxed.
Yeah.
I couldn't even move. I remember people coming up to me going you looked like you were on drugs or something like that.
Yes.
I just stuck.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why they say...
I felt great. I was really flexible. I just couldn't move.
Yeah, I'm sure your muscles felt great, but they're not excitable. You can't get them to fire as quick as you want them to. And that's also one of the reasons why they say, before a tournament or anything, or before a belt test or a major competition or whatever, you don't want to, people say, go have a massage. Don't have a massage. Don't have a massage. Don't sit in a hot tub. Anything that relaxes your muscles, you don't want that. You actually want your muscles to be able to fire as quickly as you can. So the best thing to do before, again, is doing dynamic stretching, full range of motion, also doing activation, so making sure that all the muscles you're going to be doing are already activated before you get on the mat or before you start training in the dojo, and then that's going to help them be excitable.
Would walking across the floor lunges be...
Yeah, that's a perfect way to activate muscles. Yeah.
Sitting on the floor, spinning your legs.
Yes, and actually just a little tidbit here, an extra piece, one of the most important muscles in the human body to make sure is activated is your glutes.
Glutes?
Yes, because you'll be surprised. You actually use your glutes in almost every single movement you do, and it's also one of the most underworked and underactivated muscles in the human body. So if you can activate your glutes first, there's actually a lot of research coming out that's saying that it improves your performance.
Squats?
Yeah, or just glute bridges, anything like that. Getting anything to get those glutes activated, anything to get all your muscles activated. All that should be done before, and then at the end, as a cool down, do your PNF stretching, because that's when you can see the improvements of range of motion, which of course is important and good for karate performance as well.
No, that's awesome. I love that one where you lie on the floor and someone pushes against your leg.
Yeah, and there's lots of different PNF stretches that you can do. The hamstring is obviously important, but for karate athletes, our hips need to be quite open as well. So you can do like the butterfly stretch where you're sitting and you have your heels together, or your feet together, heels right nice and close. Same thing. You can have somebody pushing against your knees, try and push your legs together, and then again push them even further.
There's pictures of the kids. My kids. One standing on each leg, practicing their punches while I'm doing that one. Yeah. So that's one way to do it. You can try and push them off your legs. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, your kids are pretty young. You probably could fly them right off your legs.
Oh, we used to have Johnny Sensei do it. He weighs like 240.
Yeah. So there you go.
You don't get up after that. That's it. The PNF stretch is done.
Yeah. So anyways, that's
awesome.
the karate training tip of the week. Just do your static stretching after, but before, do your dynamic stretching. Get those range of motions going through.
Okay, so quick question. So if someone has a karate lesson, because a lot of times now karate classes, like for kids, are an hour.
Yes.
Adults are an hour to hour and a half. So how long should you do a stretch? Because there's so many things we can train in karate. A lot of people run out of time.
Yes.
Well, maybe they're trying to do too many things in the class. How long should a warm-up be?
A warm-up, we generally say you want to do, first of all, a warm-up should progress from general to specific. So just general warm-up, getting the heart rate up, getting the blood flow, getting the muscles going, and then becoming more specific, where maybe you start doing specific karate movements. That should take, so you should have about 5 minutes of a general warm-up, which is just getting the heart rate up, getting the sweat coming a little bit, and then about another 5 minutes of specific karate technique warm-up. So just punching, just not even hard, just kind of getting the muscles going, that kind of thing. So about a 10-minute warm-up. And then for a cool down, I mean, it can be as little as 5 minutes, but obviously more is always kind of better with.
So 10-minute warm-up, then how long would you do a dynamic stretch?
Dynamic stretch. So dynamic stretch would kind of be in the transition from a general to specific. Again, maybe you jog, get the heart rate up. Maybe you start doing then some dynamic stretching, some lunges, some leg swings, some arm rotations, that kind of thing. And then, at the 5 minute mark after that, then you start doing some more karate specific movements. The whole warm up should take about 10 minutes. And then at the end of class, again, some coaches like to focus on just maybe one muscle group at the end if you're going to do PNF stretching or any static stretching to improve range of motion, because you have to hold them for at least 30 seconds to be able to see range of motion improvements. So it is time consuming, but if you just focus on one muscle group maybe every class, then you can kind of hit them all. But yeah,
right on. I got my lesson plan for tomorrow.
There it is. So and again, I can't stress actually the importance of doing a warm-up and doing a cool-down. And we talked a little bit more about active recovery as well, so we want to make sure that that's done as well. So, a lot of the time it's not enough time in a class to get everything done. No,
I like the idea that, because as you see with us, we'll do a very general warm-up, and then within 5 minutes, we actually have them doing their sparring drills.
Yes.
We've got dozens of drills that they can be practicing, and that saves us time.
Yeah.
Instead of doing hundreds of jumping jacks or just jogging around.
Totally. And also that's one of the benefits. I know we do it here in Kenzan is after the class is over, at least the last class, we stay open. We say, go ahead, use the mats. And that way you can get your stretching in, you can get your cool down in, because, if a class is an hour and a half long, sometimes you don't have the time to do it. And obviously karate training is what you're here for. So
yeah, that's self-motivation. And the easiest thing to do for self-motivation is sitting and stretching.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So I like the idea of always keeping the club open for 30 minutes. I know it's hard for some people. So then you just got to get a routine of, how people can stretch at home or.
Yes. And one final note on just kind of stretching in general that I can't stress enough as well is I think it's absolutely great stretching at home, stretching on your own. You should be stretching every single day. It is, and again, I can't stress it important enough, you should not be stretching cold muscles. So if you're actually doing more damage than good. So if you're just sitting at home watching Netflix or whatever, and you think, hey, maybe I should stretch. No. You can't. You will do more damage. At the very, very least, have a hot shower to get your muscles warmed up, or just do some dynamic range of motion stuff to get the kind of fluid flowing in there, the blood flowing, and just kind of open everything up. And then you can do your stretch. But never, never, never stretch cold muscles.
I remember watching the professional dancers at the Ballet BC, because every time they weren't moving, they were sitting on the floor stretching.
Yeah.
So first they would spin their legs around, and then they wear like leg warmers, and
Yes. Yeah. Those are great. Yeah.
they wear clothes that would make them sweat. So they would be sweating while they were sitting and stretching on the floor.
Yeah, that's great.
And they would be actively swinging their legs and then sit down, and then they'd start stretching.
Yeah.
And anybody who can do the splits will tell you it doesn't come easy. You
Yeah.
have to practice it.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I mean, when I stretch at home on my own, like, it's almost like a workout. Like, I'm sweating by the time I'm done my stretching routine at home. So, yeah, make sure it's warm muscles. Okay, before we kind of wrap up here, I just want to talk a little bit. One thing that we kind of want to do here a little bit on Karate 360 is we want to talk a little bit about karate athletes in the mainstream kind of sports, or kind of in the mainstream world. And as we know, coming up here, this podcast comes out on Monday, so this coming weekend, November 12th, is UFC 205.
Oh, this is a big one.
This is a big one. First one in New York City, and
Madison Square Gardens.
Madison Square Gardens. It's going to be I'm just going to say it right now. It's going to break records. It's going to be, the card is stacked. There's so many good fights on it. Everybody's so excited about it. It's going to be the monumental UFC event.
When they say break records, what is that like in terms of sales?
Yeah, so there's different, like gate records,
Yeah.
so like gates, getting people through the gates into the actual place, merchandise, pay-per-view buys, all these kind of things, and it's going to break probably all of those, just because it's the card is so stacked. But one in particular athlete that we wanted to talk about, a former karate athlete, is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he's going to be fighting for the welterweight championship of the world against Tyrone Woodley.
Tell me about him. Tell me about Stephen.
So Stephen Thompson was a Kempo karate guy, actually, back in the day.
Okay.
And he still trains karate. He still trains karate style. And he even, promotes himself as a karate fighter in all his kind of Twitter and Instagram posts. He always puts #karate fighters. So he's quite proud of it. And it's no secret. I mean, you watch him fight, and he's very much a karate style fighter. He moves like a karate fighter. He kicks like a karate fighter, which is a little bit different than how a Muay Thai fighter kicks, or how another MMA fighter or kickboxer kicks. So he looks like a karate athlete. He fights like one. And yeah, I mean, he's been coming up the ranks, and now it's finally his shot.
His stats are interesting. Okay, so he's American.
He is American, yes.
From Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Yep.
6 foot. For the rest of the world, that's 183 centimeters.
Yeah, there you go.
170 pounds, 77 kilograms. He's in the welterweight division.
Welterweight division, so 170 pounds.
Says here his team is Upstate Karate, Pitch Black MMA, Sierra Longa Fight Team.
Yeah.
He's a 5th degree black belt in Tetsu Shinryu Kempo Karate. He's a 1st degree black belt in Tetsu Shinryu Jiu-Jitsu. And he's a black belt in American kickboxing and a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Carlos Machado.
Oh, Carlos Machado. Yeah, he's one of the Gracie guys, under the Gracie boys. But yeah, anyway, Stephen Thompson fighting for the welterweight championship.
This is interesting. So his kickboxing record is 20 wins, 20 losses. His mixed martial arts record is 20 wins, 0 losses.
Yes.
In kickboxing.
Yeah.
His martial arts record is 13 wins, 1 loss. His amateur career was 37 wins, no losses. So he's had a lot of matches.
Yes, a lot of experience in all different kind of avenues.
His hashtag is
Karate fighters.
Karate
Karate fighters.
Well, let's support this guy and see how he does.
Absolutely. And just kind of a bold prediction on my part. I think I am quite a big fan of UFC, and I follow it quite a bit. I think he is going to win. I think he's going to knock the guy out, and I also think that he's going to stay the welterweight champion for a while, because I think he's just got the style to do it. He's still young, and I mean, I think, like I said, the karate fighting style is hard to mimic for a lot of those MMA fighters. They have trouble with it. So I think he's going to win the welterweight championship, and I think he's going to hold on to it for a while.
So he is at the top of the welterweight group as a champion right now.
Yeah, well, he's not the champion yet. Tyrone Woodley is the champion, and he's fighting for the championship.
Oh, so has he gone up a weight division?
Nope. No, he's been a welterweight his whole career. Yeah, and this will just be for the welterweight championship. And
fantastic.
Yeah, no, it should be good. So there.
And there's talk here that he might one day fight Georges St. Pierre if he ever comes back.
Well, there was a little bit of talk about that. I think
another karate athlete.
Another karate athlete, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think, we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but I don't think George is coming back, unfortunately, as much as we'd like to see it. I think there's just too much contract dispute there with the UFC and the kind of powers to be in the UFC. So I don't know. I would love to see it happen, but it is something that they've sort of talked about. That they same division, obviously, 2 karate guys. That would be absolutely amazing, but I don't know. I don't see it happening.
And they should put on gis, blue and red gloves, and do it in WKF rules.
Absolutely. Absolutely they should. Absolutely.
For more information on Kalan's predictions, please go to the Kalan Anglos show.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. There it is. Anyways, guys, there is our crossover athlete, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
This has been fantastic. I'm having more fun every week, every time we do this. So.
Yeah, you know, I know there's people listening, and I'm glad they listen, and I'm happy that they do. But I wouldn't care necessarily if there wasn't. You know, like I said, I'm having a good time doing this and just talking karate, and it's great.
It was awesome. Thank you as always.
Yeah, thank you as well.
My podcast brother.
Yes, and thank you guys for listening and continuing to tune in and sending us your thoughts and kind of your suggestions. Oh, and also just so you guys know, there was a suggestion and we followed through. We are now available on the Google Play, the Android app store, so you can check us out, Karate 360. So for all you Android users out there that have been wondering, hey, how come Karate 360 isn't on Android? Well, we are available now. So that pretty much covers all our platforms. So.
That's right. Soon we'll be selling tickets to our live show on December 10th at midnight.
That's right. Yeah, they will be $600 each.
Exactly. So, yeah, we're thinking about having a live show in December, and we'll let you guys know about that and round up a bunch of friends and take over some hotel kitchen after all the staff is gone and have a good time.
There it is. Thanks, guys. This is episode 8, the WKF World Championship kind of highlights. We're going to continue talking about those going forward. And we got some guests coming up here, too, in the next few weeks, too. So tune in to those. And thanks for listening.
We get guests from everywhere, Australia, Japan, Canada, all over the world. This is going to be amazing, actually.
Yeah.
We'll start bringing some people in.
We're just getting started.
San Rokumaru.